Welcome, baseball family. It is Thursday night, and we are live. I am Brad, and I'm here with Brig. How are you this evening, Brig?
Bouncy. I'm bouncy. How are you, Brad?
I'm good. I'm doing really well.
Good.
It was a good day. It was a good day. There was quite a bit of news that came down this morning. It was like there was like a Thursday morning news dump. It's like Mad Bum gets DFA'd. The A's, Ohtani, Scherzer. What? So we chose three because that's what we do on Thursday nights. Here we go. We're going to start with the Oakland A's. They have officially announced that they have plans to purchase land to build a $1 billion stadium in Las Vegas, just off the Strip. Now, there's a lot to this, and it's actually like really funny because I was listening to David Sampson talk about it today. So first off, the league has not officially approved the move. They've said they're going to waive the fee, right? They're going to waive the relocation fee, and they are encouraging the A's to move to Las Vegas, all that, right? But nothing is officially official.
Right.
This is as unofficially official as we've gotten to this point. So
this is pending medical review, right? This is on a trade pending the physical.
Yeah, that's where we are at this point. We're pending a physical from Major League Baseball front offices. So the other thing that's really funny about this is they are talking about how they want to build a pedestrian bridge from the Strip to the stadium, which is in theory a really good idea. But as it turns out, it's about a 1.5 mile walk, and baseball is played in the summer, like everywhere else in Las Vegas.
Yep.
It's really hot in Las Vegas in the summer. And thinking about it, it's about this. It's probably a little bit cooler there than it is here in Phoenix during the summer. But
barely,
exactly. I would not want to be walking 1.5 miles on a pedestrian bridge to get to the stadium. I barely want to walk more than 2 blocks to get to the stadium in the middle of summer here.
No doubt.
So in theory, it's a really good idea, but I think ultimately not such a good idea. Make sure you have enough real estate to make yourself a really big parking lot. Or going to go.
Or some kind of tram, gondola, elevated train, something like that you can climate control. That would suffice, and that would be innovative, and that would be unique. That would set the whole thing apart.
And a gondola would be very Las Vegas. I think it would work out really well.
Totally.
If they did it. Yeah.
So would an elevated train. It would just be, I don't know, be stellar.
It would be. And that's something they're going to have to do if they don't make a huge parking lot. So.
Well, and where they're looking to build it, they don't have the space for a huge parking lot. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pretty interesting.
I don't know. But this is one thing that is encouraging. I feel like Brig and I have been talking for a couple of years now about how we look forward to expansion. And this is really the first step in that direction, right?
Yeah.
There are certain dominoes that have to fall, and this is one of the first ones that has to fall in order for expansion to happen. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting.
I think it's awesome. Now, they're looking at 2027 is their tentative date for full-blown relocation, but there are also contingencies in place to take over the AAA facility there instead of I forget the name of the AAA affiliate. There it goes.
For some reason, all I can think of is the Reno Aces, but I know that's not right.
Aviators? Is it the Las Vegas Aviators? I feel like it's the Aviators. Anyway, the point is there are contingencies in place already for them to possibly fill time instead of in Oakland at the Coliseum at the Aviators AAA facility.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. 2027, there's a lot of time for things to happen between now and then. So we'll see what
Yep.
happens. Obviously, it's not enough time for them to get that stadium built. And that's why they have that plan to play at the
Mhm.
Aviator Stadium. But anyway, something to keep an eye on over the next coming years. So Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer was ejected from a game on what's today? Thursday, on Wednesday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Because umpires said that he had too much sticky stuff. And Scherzer says he swears on his kid's life that it was rosin and sweat, which is legal. That being said, too much rosin, excessive rosin on your glove, on your person, wherever, or mixed with sunscreen is not legal. Now,
Right.
that's the interesting thing here is like, okay, how much is too much? Right? I remember last year was last year, 2 years ago when I think it was last year they first started doing this. There was a Mariners pitcher, I don't know. He got suspended for PEDs. I've wiped him from my mind. Whoever it was, he was the first suspension, and they were like, it was everywhere. It was rosin, but it was all over his glove, it was all over his belt, everything. Like there was so much of it that's why they tossed him. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened with Scherzer here.
Mm.
That he just had too much of it. They're like, yeah, okay, it is rosin, but it's excessive.
Mm.
But the slippery slope is what's excessive,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't know. My opinion here is really interesting to me. My opinion is interesting to me, Brad. No, what's interesting to me is that the same umpire is responsible for all 3 ejections for foreign substances since this started coming down. So his
Yeah,
name is Phil Cousy, and my question is, what's up with Phil? How come he's always the guy in the hot seat when this goes down? And none of the other umpires on any other crew, are they not catching it? Or is he a little too hot in his pants?
I don't know because I wonder if it has to do with the crew, right? Because it's never just one umpire doing the ejection.
Right.
Like
It's always
it,
two.
it's always two taking a look at everything, talking it over. And I remember I was having a conversation with the umpire like a regional umpire supervisor one time, and it was during a game. Somebody called a balk, and he's like, "There's always one guy on every crew who's like the balk expert." Right? He's like, there's always one. If you watch, there's only one umpire who ever calls balks, and it's the same guy on every single crew. And so I wonder if these guys have taken it upon themselves to be like the rosin police, to be like, okay, we're
Maybe.
going to look for this specifically. If they have too much of it on their glove, they have too much on their belt, too far up their arm, I don't know, whatever. But they have their own standard
Right.
because it's a judgment call.
Subjective. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all subjective. And so if they have their own standard, and if somebody does not meet that standard or exceeds it, whatever, then that's when they toss them, and that's why it's happening. And everybody else is just like, it's rosin, it's not pine tar, it's not spider tack, you're good, right? But these guys are like, tisk tisk. We are
Not
gonna
these guys.
clean up baseball single-handedly, friends.
Yeah, not these guys. This guy.
Yeah, well, this guy, I'm sure he's the crew chief, so he's the one who's
Yeah.
getting it, and so I'm sure that's like their thing, and maybe it's his thing, and he's let his crew know like we are the rosin police. That is our job. That's what we'll be known for, henceforth and forever.
Yeah, maybe so.
But it is
That's really
interesting that it's
interesting.
the same crew chief making all these ejections.
Can I say one last thing about that incident?
Absolutely.
So, and I'm not alone in this because social media seemed to explode on this same topic. But as I'm sitting there watching Max gesticulate and
Oh yeah.
articulate his hands and just try not to scream at this umpire, all I could see was the patch on his shoulder flapping around. And it looked awful. It was terrible. Because I can't read his lips, they're not mic'd up. The only thing I can see as I'm paying as close attention as possible to what's going on is the just awful, bright white, way too big patch with tiny little
huge.
lettering in it. I was like, this is ridiculous. On a gray uniform, it looked awful.
Yeah, and I bet I can't remember who it is, but I bet they're loving it. Just like every single shot, we're there every single time, and it's fantastic. But
they get their money's worth.
Yeah, definitely. So Max Scherzer comes with an Every sticky stuff ejection comes with a 10-game suspension. So he gone 10 games, which is 2 starts for him. Anyway, all right, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani for a little bit because Jeff Passan brought this up today and made some news, and I think it's something that honestly we have felt, right? Like this is something we've thought. It's just that somebody who is in the know and knows people has said it out loud. And what he said, this is more on Get Up this morning on Mike Greenberg's show on ESPN. He said if the Angels fall out of contention, he could be traded and definitely, he emphasized definitely, will leave.
Yeah. If they don't make it to the playoffs, he's definitely leaving.
Yeah, that's big news. Big news.
Yeah.
And I honestly never thought that the Angels would trade him. Because I always thought that Artie Moreno was going to be like, no, we're going to hold on to him as long as we can. We're going to milk the cow for as much as he's worth. And if we trade him, there's no shot at re-signing him. Absolutely no shot at re-signing him. Right?
Not one time ever. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not coming back if we trade him. We got to keep him here as long as possible. Got to get every dime out of him that we can. And if there's even an inkling of us signing him, we got to keep him here. But now that this is out there, if we know it, the Angels know it.
Oh, yeah.
So keep an eye on the Angels.
There's blood in the water.
Yes.
And everybody's involved now. I think even the most casual fan, because of Shohei Ohtani's transcendent personality and his numbers and everything he's doing, like it's way bigger than baseball. Everybody's eyeballs will be on this. This move is good for baseball. This news coming this soon is good for baseball. Everything about Shohei Ohtani, except for my ability to pronounce his name properly, is really good for baseball. It's just when I'm worked up. Otherwise, I'm fine. But I think this is amazing. Now, Brad and I have opinions on where we think he's going to go. And we have made a wager.
We have made a wager, yeah.
Brad is trying to get me into betting, and so we made a bet. And the bet we made, I don't know if we'll call it the money line or the run line or whatever bet speak you want to use, Brad.
It's a future bet, Brig. That's what it's called.
Oh, thank you. It's a future bet. Put this on your future bets. If he goes to the Yankees, Brad gets a pie in the face. If he ends up in Seattle as a Mariner, I get a pie in the face. If he goes anywhere else, we both get pies in the face.
That's right.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it makes good logical sense for both places. The Yankees have all the money in the world to give him, and Seattle is a perfect landing spot for him. So I don't know. It's those two and like a handful of others that really make a lot of sense despite everybody else and their mother wanting to get in on the Ohtani sweepstakes, just like
everybody's going to want it. Yeah, I agree with you.
For sure. All right, let's remind you about the big show real quick, baseball family. If you're joining us here, if you're watching this, you can also catch the big show. It's a regular podcast. It comes out every Tuesday morning. First thing, should be there when you wake up. This week, we celebrated our 200th episode. We did the 200th extravaganza, and it was so much fun. We talked about kind of where we started, some of the things we've done along the way, and just some personal things that we've dealt with along the way as well. So it's a fun episode. Go have a listen to it. And also, while you're on the interwebs, go check out Patreon. That's where you can support the podcast. We have 5 tiers of support: $1, $5, $10, $15, and now the $500 commissioner tier. Go check that out if you're curious about what is there. It's pretty sweet. It's a little bit of a joke, but if you pay us $500 a month, we will actually follow through and do every single one of those things for you. So
absolutely,
go check it out, and you get this sweet hat along the way too, so you can see where that comes in.
Also,
all right, Brig.
Baseball family, whether you jump on Patreon or not and support us in that way, we love all of our listeners. We're so grateful for you. We don't often take the time to sit back and thank you, but we need to do better because we couldn't do it without you. We're super glad you're here, whether it's on the lives, watching us on YouTube at various intervals because we're posting all the time, or if you catch it on audio only. We just appreciate you so much. We've been at this for 4 years, and we've got a lot more years ahead of us. So but we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the subscriptions on YouTube and all the socials and everything like that. I just had to throw that out there.
Thank you, because I was realizing we kind of forgot to do that at the end of the episode. We really should have.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we wouldn't keep going if we didn't feel like there were people listening. So we do appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, Brig, we want to start walking us through our national TV schedule for the weekend.
Yeah. So if you don't have MLB TV and you just want to watch baseball on your regular programming, if you have Apple TV Plus and you're paying for the subscription because it's not free this year, Apple TV Plus, this is also available on MLB TV, by the way. If you pay for that, you get the Apple TV Plus game. But the Blue Jays will be at the Yankees in the Boogie Down at 7:05 Eastern on Friday. Yeah, that's what it's called. The Blue Jays are 11-8 right now. The Yankees are 11-7. The Yankees have not lost a series yet this year, which is super exciting. So even though it says 11-7, it's a little bit misleading because they haven't lost a series. So the AL East it's always tight. It's always crazy. This year is going to be particularly interesting because even the Red Sox I wonder if they're going to start turning it around a little bit more. They're closer to 500 than I thought they were going to be at this point. So they're going to maybe be more interesting than we thought. But the Orioles are no joke suddenly.
Right.
And then the Rays are on a tear. Yeah. So it's nuts right now. Anyway, if you want to watch the Blue Jays and Yankees, 7:00 Friday on Apple TV. What does this say? Run differential.
So last week I talked about this stat real quick from Baseball Reference. They have this measurement. It's called SRS, or it's their simple rating system, and they calculate basically how everybody is compared to an average team over the last several years based on run differential strength schedule. The Yankees are rated as a 1.7 runs per game better than the Blue Jays right now.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal, I feel like.
It is.
That was really interesting when I saw that.
Blue Jays are great. Like, they're really good right now.
Yeah, they're a good team. Even though, so this metric though shows that they're in negative SRS right now.
Really?
Yeah. Surprised. I was really surprised.
Fascinating.
I think it's their pitching, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because pitching is not doing great right now for the Blue Jays.
They had some weird defensive plays against the Rays the other night as well. But anyway, also on Apple TV Plus, also Friday, this is just a little bit later, the 7:20 game will feature the Houston Astros in Atlanta in the ATL against the Braves. Astros are 9-10.
As we've been told
no, not Hotlanta. You tourist, you out of towner. The Astros are 9-10. The Braves are 14-5. Talk about being on a tear. That'll be on Apple TV Plus, 7:20 Eastern. The Astros are playing better now than they have been, which is, I think, not unexpected. The terrible start they've had is unexpected, but they look to be rounding it back out. Although Yordan Alvarez does not seem to be rounding it back out.
No, and I benched him. I had to bench him, Brig. I was shocked. The
Jose Abreu gamble has not paid off at all.
Nope.
Super interesting to watch with the Astros. So it'll be interesting to see how they, if they start facing weaker teams once they leave Atlanta. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But the Braves are going to be the biggest problem in their maybe in their entire season. Like, it could be the biggest problem for them, and it's pretty early, so they could round it back out after that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, Saturday. You got games on Fox and FS1. The first game is on Fox. That's the Mets at the Giants. The Mets are 12-7. The Giants are 6-11. That game is at 4:00 Eastern time. I feel like the Mets would really love to take advantage of a weak opponent this weekend, like big time, and get some ground against the Braves. And because I feel like you don't want, and I understand, like, it's April, right? And the Braves showed us last year that it doesn't matter where you are necessarily, even at the All-Star break. You can go on a tear, you can come back, and you can still win the World Series. But I don't think the Mets want to fall behind the Braves, because the Braves, they're so good.
Yeah.
So, anyway. And FS1, you got the Tigers 7-10 at the Orioles 11-7. The Orioles need to continue to beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. That's what I feel like this comes down to. Is the Orioles need to win at least 2 out of 3 of this series. But this is the thing about the Tigers. They're playing really well right now. They erased a 5-game losing streak by winning 5 in a row.
Yep. And Javi Baez got benched for being a dummy and mucking it up on the base path.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be the last time that happens, honestly.
I don't either. I
don't know what
feel
his deal is.
I don't know. Somebody's going to write an expose one day, and we're going to get the whole story. But there's something going on, and it's awful. It's
Well, it's
so
funny
bad.
because I thought we were going to get vintage Javi Baez because of how well he played in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, me too. It must be
Maybe
Detroit. Maybe it's Detroit.
Could be. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like AJ Hinch.
I mean, okay.
Maybe.
Like, I don't want to say anything, but it's possible. Who knows? All right, Sunday's Wake Up in Baseball on Peacock is now back, and we are excited about it. We're here for it. This will be your 12 noon Eastern game. Rockies will be in Philly, city of brotherly love. Rockies are 5-14. The Phillies are 8-11. So the Rockies are bad, basically.
I watched them play the Mariners last week, and they didn't look good. Like I was like, my thought was a team that struggles this much with pitching because they play where they play, like where their home games are, can't be this bad defensively, and they just are not good defensively.
Nope. So it's basically unacceptable. But the Phillies have started to turn things around a little bit, and that's encouraging for them. So hopefully this will be a great opportunity for the Phillies to kind of bounce back against a weaker opponent and, maybe get backer closer to 500, Brad, or backer.
More backer, better than greater.
More backer to 500er.
And then Sunday night on ESPN, you've got the Mets, the Giants. That game is at 7:10 p.m. Eastern. You can watch the regular broadcast on ESPN, or you can watch the K-Rod broadcast on ESPN2. Pick your poison there. All right, series to watch this weekend. I'll start us off here. I've got the Cardinals and Mariners, obviously. To me, this is going to be a big deal for both teams. Both teams have started off just so disappointing this far, and so I think this could potentially be a turning point for one of these teams because they're both going to need to do it if they're going to do anything. So there's that. And then the other one is the Padres at the D-backs. Fernando Tatis Jr. is coming back tonight. These teams have been opposite of what we've expected them to be. So it's really going to be interesting what they do over a 4-game series. And I will actually be at the game on Saturday. Very excited.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
For sure. And my other series, I got the Astros and Braves just because of everything we talked about before with the Astros and Braves.
Yeah. So I have all of those same series, except I don't have the Astros and Braves because I have the Yankees and Jays instead. So for me, the Cards and Mariners, exactly the same thing. I want to see which one breaks in which direction. If they split it right down the middle, is it 3 or 4 game set?
3-game series.
It's 3.
So somebody's going to win.
Okay. If that's the case, then it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I feel like even though it's April, and this is going to sound ridiculous, something is going on this year, and I'm going to choose to blame it on the balanced schedule. But something different is going on in these races right now. And already it feels different. Maybe it's the pitch clock. Maybe it's the rhythm of the game that's off. And I'm blaming it on, I'm assigning that sort of different feel to other things that it doesn't actually touch. I'm open to all of that. But what I think is that something funky is going on this season, and the balanced schedule is playing a role in that. And so these sort of the records through April are going to be super interesting and important, more than they have been in previous seasons. That's just an opinion early on. It's kind of a hot take, but you tell me if I'm wrong. And I say that because the Cards and the Mariners facing up against one another this weekend could really make a huge break for May and define their May. It could. I don't know, but it's possible. And then if you have a good May or a bad May, then once you hit June, everything is harder to kind of shift momentum in June and July.
It could be. Yeah, because
I don't know.
I've been doing a lot of schedule, like our record comparisons from last year with the Mariners. Yeah. And April was fine, about 500. May was horrendous. And then June, they caught fire. They went on a winning streak into the All-Star break. And so I don't know. I don't know if the balanced schedule is going to eliminate stuff like that or encourage it. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because in May 2 years ago, the Mariners got no hit twice,
right,
in May, and then they came back and missed the playoffs by a game.
Right.
So I
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying.
It's
I
easy
think
to be frustrated, but it's hard to be optimistic. But at the same time, though, we shouldn't let our emotions get the best of us. But you're right, though. A lot of stuff is upside down, and I don't know if it's the pitch clock. I don't know if it's the balanced schedule, but something's going on, and it's really weird right now.
It's weird. There's a whole different vibe going on this season. So that's why I'm paying attention to the Padres D-backs series as well this weekend, because just like you said, this is upside down. This is like alternate universe stuff. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah,
But
it's weird.
Something's got to give, and I really think we're going to see those extremes come to play this summer when the dog days show up. Blue Jays and Yankees for the same reason. The Yankees, if they continue to take series away from their opponents, are going to be truly unstoppable, but they're going to be like Lance Armstrong riding behind everybody, cutting that wind for them. They don't have to win every game. They just have to win every series, and they'll be dominant.
And that's the approach too, is win the series, don't win every game.
Exactly. And they're doing the bend don't break thing, and it's working, and it's crazy. Gleyber Torres finally got another hit today. Now he's like 2 for 26 or whatever.
Sounds like Colton Wong.
Super amazing. Anyway, Brad, tell us about your betting stuff.
All right. We're going to talk. Let's give our BT bets, our picks for the weekend. Lions are out for Friday, none for Saturday or Sunday, so we have to project for those. But these are our picks for the weekend. Friday, I'm going to go with the Rangers with the run line over the A's. DraftKings has the Rangers at plus 110. Run line is typically 99% of the time it's going to be minus 1.5. That's what it's going to be in this case for the Rangers. So go take the Rangers and run line over the A's. Saturday, go with the Brewers in the run line. If that's plus money, it probably will be against the Red Sox. They're going to be favored, so you'll probably get plus money on the run line there. If it's not, if the Brewers are so heavily favored that you're getting minus money on the run line, take over 8.5. A lot of runs will be scored in that game. So there's that. And then Sunday, take the Twins. Plus money, again, will probably be the run line over the Nats. That is the easiest money you'll get this weekend. It might even be minus money, but still go ahead and take it because you're going to get a little bit of free money out of that. Better than nothing. So those are my bets this weekend. What about you, Brig?
My bets this weekend, I'm taking the D-backs money line over the Padres. So there's no plus money available on the D-backs in this game. It's negative 105. Minus 105 is probably as good as you're going to get, but take it because the D-backs are going to win on Friday. Saturday, if you're going to put money down, take plus money, probably on the run line against the Blue Jays. Pick the Yankees on that one. And then Sunday, I'm going with the Mariners on plus money, likely with the money line over the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are broken right now, and I think the Mariners are looking for an opportunity to take advantage of somebody. This is it.
I would think so. They got Chris Flexen going on Sunday, and that's why I think it's going to be the money line. I don't think that they're going to be favored with Flexen trotting out there. But if he can keep if he can get out there and limit his one bad inning, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch and see how that happens. I'm double checking that D-backs line for you on Friday to see if anything has adjusted.
Okay.
There we go. If you want plus money on the D-backs, you take the run line on Friday night. So
take the run line.
As of this moment, that is 6:28 p.m. on Thursday. WinBet has the best odds at plus 185 on the run line.
There you go.
There it is. And we'll tell you another day about how we find that.
Yeah, we will. We have an inside track.
We do. But baseball family, thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday Night Live. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Let us know what you think about what we're doing because we love to hear from you. We like Brig said before, we love and appreciate your support. Everything that you do to help us keep going on this show is absolutely fantastic, and we truly love all of it. And we will catch you next week.